Hi guys, Reverend Victor here. A very good morning to you all and welcome to our school assembly this morning. I'm here in the grounds of the rectory, just here with my car, and I'll tell you why in just a few moments. But isn't it nice to see such blue skies, cloudless blue skies, and the sun in the sky at the moment? Isn't that lovely? We've had so much rain and cloud lately. It's so nice to see a nice bright sunny day, even if it is rather cold, unfortunately. Now, as I say, I'm here with my car, and I'll tell you why in just a couple of minutes. But firstly, just to say, I'm going to talk to you about Advent this morning. Now, Advent is a journey that we make towards Christmas. There are 4 Sundays of Advent, and next Sunday will be the first Sunday of Advent. And as I say, it's a journey that we make as Christians as we prepare ourselves for the coming of Christ at Christmas, when we celebrate Jesus' birth in Bethlehem. Now, before we make any kind of journey, we need to make preparations, and that's why I'm here at the car. Before we make a car journey, we have to make some preparations as well. We have to make sure that things are safe and things are right, and so on. So that's why I'm here at the car, because we've all travelled in a car. I'm sure some of you came to school this morning in a car. Maybe your mum or dad or a granny dropped you off at school, and maybe some of you came on the bus, which is similar, of course, to a car. And also, I'm sure all of you have travelled in a car. But let's think about some of the preparations we need to make with the car before we begin a journey. Now, can you guess some of the things we need to do to prepare the car for a journey? Is there anything you see there that I'm showing you? Can you guess anything at the moment? Okay, well, we'll start with the tyre. Did anyone say wheel or tyre? Well, this is particularly important. The wheel or the tyre is very important, and it's something we need to check and prepare before we make a journey. First of all, this nozzle here, that's where the air goes into the tyre. The tyre is full of air, and we need to make sure that the right amount of air is in the tyre. If there's too much air, the tyre can burst. If there's too little air, we can damage the wheel, and this is the wheel here. Okay, so the tyre is the rubber thing attached to the wheel, and we could easily damage the wheels, and that wouldn't be very good if there's too little air in the tyre. Now, do you see down here, boys and girls, this is the rubber of the tyre, and literally just that tiny amount of rubber is all that's in contact between the car and the road. And that's why tyres are so important, and it's vital to our safety to always check tyres, that there's no nails in the tyre, that there's no stones in the tyre, because that tiny piece of rubber is all that's between us and the road. So on the 4 tyres on the car, that tiny, just about the size of a few of my fingers in width, is all that is in contact with the road. So if the road is wet, which it is at the moment, it takes longer for the car to stop, and it's also more dangerous. And likewise, if there's ice or snow on the road, it's dangerous as well. So that's why our tyres need to be in very good condition. And did anyone say lights? Okay, well, these are the car's lights. They're very important, because first of all, it's getting dark so early now. So you could begin a journey like we are in the moment in the sunshine, but coming back this evening it'll be dark, so we need our lights to see, but also so that people can see us. And a lot of people drive with their lights on during the day, because it's more easy for people to see the car coming, like a pedestrian or someone on a bike. They can see the car. Okay. Now, did anyone say window wipers? These are the window wipers. They need to be working in order to keep the window clear from rainwater. And our mirrors, we need to check the mirrors. Gosh, the sun is very bright, so it's hard for me to see. I hope you can see. But we just check the mirror to make sure that the glass isn't broken and that it's clean. I'll just jump into the car here. So I'll just open the car. Now, I'll just bring the car to life. So I'll just put my foot on the brake pedal and turn on the car. Where is it now? The on button. Okay, the lights pop on, and they've popped off again. And these two red warning lights, this one here with the P is the parking brake, so that lets me know that the parking brake is on and that the doors are open. This tells me that the car is ready to drive. And over here we have what's like a fuel gauge. This is an electric car, so it doesn't have a fuel gauge, it has a distance gauge. And we see that that says 204 kilometers. So that shows us how far we can drive without charging the car. It's quite low at the moment, just 204 kilometers. That's because it's so cold. But normally during the summer that would be up about 300. Anyway, aside from that, I'll just move this, what's called a stalk here. I'll turn the stalk. I'll see, can we get that into focus? So I twist that one. We see the green light comes on. That's the side lights. I'll show you those in a second. Let's go back to the stalk. Another green light has come on. That's to show us that the main headlamps of the car are on. And if I pull the stalk backwards like that, that blue light comes on, and that shows us that the car's main headlight beams are on, and we use those during the dark, when the road is very, very dark at night. I'll just turn them off. Okay, another thing we can check here while I'm here is this. Press that. Oh, that's the horn. Let's make sure that the horn is working. And over here now, this switch here is what's called the hazard warning lights. So you press those and the indicators on both sides of the car flash. So I'll just jump out and check that all those lights are on. There, so we see that the indicator light is flashing, the headlamp is on, and down here the side light is on. Now that looks like it's flashing. It isn't really, that's just the camera. But okay, so that's our lights are working fine. Oh, the washers, I didn't check the washers. I'll just come around here again. And this stalk here on the other side. Now, I'll just pull that stalk towards me. And we see, so the wipers are working. I'll just pull it again. So there's plenty, oops, water flying everywhere. Okay, boys and girls, so there's the various checks we can make on the car to see that everything is safe before we begin a journey. And now I'll move inside and we'll talk about some of the things we do to prepare for the coming of Christ at Christmas. Okay guys, when we were outdoors we were looking at the car and the various different ways that we prepare the car before a journey. And now that we're indoors, I'm going to look at some various ways that we prepare ourselves to celebrate Christ's birth at Christmas. Now we are beginning our Advent journey, and that is the 4 weeks of Advent before Christmas Day, when we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ in Bethlehem. Now Advent means coming or arrival. So Advent is the time of preparation. It's getting us ready for Jesus' arrival, his birth in Bethlehem. And one of the most important ways that we prepare ourselves for someone's arrival is to know when they're coming. And so one of the ways we can do that is through an Advent calendar. I'm not sure if you've seen an Advent calendar before. This one is in the shape of a Christmas tree. And as you can see there, boys and girls, it's numbered from 1 to 24. So number 1 is the first day of December and 24 is Christmas Eve. Okay, so what we do is, as the different days pass by during the month of December, say the 1st of December, put a bauble there on the tree, that one's a snowflake. Put another coloured bauble there on the 2nd day, and so on the 3rd day. There's a Christmas pudding shaped bauble on the 4th day. And then down here, as we get closer to Christmas Eve, to Christmas Day, the tree will be eventually covered in baubles. There's Rudolph and Santa Claus on Christmas Eve. So that's one of the ways we prepare for someone's arrival, is, as I say, by knowing the day they're coming and counting down the days. Now, the way the church counts down towards the celebration of Jesus' birth on Christmas Day is through candles, and this is an Advent wreath. Now, you might remember on our Remembrance Day assembly we had a wreath in the shape of poppy flowers. Well, this is a green wreath because at this time of year greenery is amply available from fir trees and so on. So we have a green wreath and we have 5 candles. Now there are 3 purple candles, a pink candle and a white candle, and I'll just explain them to you. Now on the first Sunday of Advent we light the first purple candle. Now unfortunately we're not going to be in church on the first Sunday of Advent because we're still under lockdown, but hopefully for the other Sundays of Advent and certainly for Christmas Day we hope that we'll be in church. But on the first Sunday of Advent we light the first purple candle. On the second Sunday of Advent we light the second purple candle, and on the third Sunday of Advent we light a pink candle. Now the pink candle is for Gaudete Sunday, and Gaudete is from the Latin language and that means rejoice. So we're rejoicing that the birth of Christ is coming very, very near. And we light the 4th purple candle on the 4th Sunday of Advent, and then on Christmas Day we light the white candle. Now the reason we use purple for the candles is because purple is a royal colour. At the time of Jesus only the Emperor of Rome could wear purple, but we use purple to symbolise Jesus because he's the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. So that's the way the Church prepares, by counting down to the celebration of the birth of Jesus at Christmas. Another way we can prepare is through this which is called a crib. And a crib is a recreation of the stable in Bethlehem where Jesus was born. So we see here the stable, and we have the star. That was the star that led the wise men to the stable in Bethlehem. And here we have Joseph and Mary. They're waiting for Jesus to be born. And here is an angel. Now, the angel Gabriel appeared to Mary, but this is another angel who appeared in Bethlehem. And these are the shepherds. There's one shepherd. Oops-a-daisy, I've knocked him over. A shepherd and his sheep. And they're making their way to the stable. And as I say, this is another way we can prepare by adding the figures to the crib as the days pass by. And finally, on Christmas Day, adding Jesus there to the crib. Jesus, of course, was laid in a manger. That's a manger. A manger is used for feeding animals. That's all that was available in the stable to put Jesus in. So that's another way that we can prepare ourselves for celebrating Jesus' birth at Christmas. But one of the most important ways that we can celebrate and prepare ourselves for Jesus' birth is through reading the Bible and through prayer. So I'm just going to read to you a short Bible passage from the Gospel of St. Luke. Now, one day when Mary was sitting quietly alone in her house, a bright light filled the room and she heard a voice. Mary looked up. There in front of her was God's angel, Gabriel. "Do not be afraid," said Gabriel. "God is pleased with you. He has sent me to you with good news. You are going to have a very special son, and you must call him Jesus. He will be God's promised king. He is the one everyone is waiting for. His kingdom will never end." So boys and girls, essentially that's the message of Jesus' coming into the world. Jesus came to bring peace and joy to the world, and so during the time of Advent, as we prepare to celebrate the birth of Jesus, let's be peaceful and joyful people. So finish up our assembly today, boys and girls, firstly with the Lord's Prayer and then with our school prayer. So the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Well done, guys. And now the school prayer. I promise I'll learn this soon. Our school prayer. This is our school. Let peace dwell here. Let the room be full of contentment. Let love abide here. Love of one another, love of life itself, and love of God. Amen. Boys and girls, I hope you've enjoyed our assembly for Advent, and see you again soon. God bless you all. Bye-bye.